we saw the potential for blended learning to facilitate one of the instructional strategies that we've been promoting in our mathematics professional learning, which is small groups and direct instruction through small groups. And as it turns out, I think teachers are feeling and finding that blended learning does facilitate that. And some of the initial findings in our surveys of teachers were around their use of small groups, and particularly that they saw the benefits for small groups to engage students, but they weren't as sure that blended learning would be a viable way to manage small groups. It'll be interesting at the end of the project when we survey the teachers to find out whether that's changed, and we hope that it has. We have decided to collect various pieces of data, qualitative and quantitative. So our initial findings right now, we did a teacher pre-survey and a student pre-survey. The teacher pre-survey was around their perceptions of small group learning and perceptions around how they support students who have a learning disability, because that's one of the focuses in our board improvement plan. And initial findings are that teachers realize and agree that students are engaged when they work in small groups, but they're much less sure of whether or not blended learning makes small groups more viable in their classroom. So they agree that small groups is a good thing to do. They find a barrier in having small groups in their classrooms because they might not know what to do with the rest of the class. But we hope that our data will show at the end of the project that the virtual learning environment has provided a technical solution to that pedagogical problem, and that teachers will identify that small group learning is indeed more viable during mathematics using the VLE. We hope that at the end of the project, teachers will identify that students that struggle are more on task during mathematics lessons, and that they're able to work more independently because of the virtual learning environment. In terms of students, we ask students about their work collaborating with their peers. So our data around students, we're trying to determine whether they, how they experience collaboration and what they learn by collaborating with others. So initially, students identify that, most students identify that they like to work in groups with others, but that their experience working in groups is not as effective. So only about half of them identify that working in a small group is effective. And we ask them for ideas of what would make their work in small groups more effective, and they came up with some, and we'll repeat the survey at the end of the project, and we hope to see that they're identifying that the virtual learning environment increases the effectiveness of the work that they do together.